All systems go. Clear for liftoff.
What is going on, everybody? Happy Thursday, Friday, Saturday, whenever you're watching. Hope you're having a great day. We are back talking some UFC. 13 fights in the Apex. It looks like a revamped Apex, though. I think they added more seats, some more fans. I'm excited to see how it looks. More importantly, though, 13 fights. That's good for DFS. I don't know if we can expect 13 by tomorrow after weigh-ins, though, with how it's usually been. But fingers crossed we keep all 13. How we doing this fine afternoon, Big Marley?
Good, yeah. We lost a fight I was looking forward to. Haven't had time to research the other guys, so we're going to save that one for our members. But I was feeling pretty good about this card. I did a podcast last night, so I feel like have a little refresher going into this one, I guess. But I didn't talk about too much DFS stuff, and I am struggling to find some underdogs on this card. I think there's a couple popular ones I'm fine with, but looking forward to talking this out with you. And hopefully we don't lose a fight, but I feel at this point I'm just used to losing at least one the day before.
Yeah, I am too. I mean, I'm hoping we don't, but yeah, I'm definitely used to it. I'm not surprised by any means. Like you did mention, as you can see, like not everything's filled in. So Basharat was supposed to fight Said Nurmagomedov. It was going to be an awesome fight. Mid-tier was like minus 130, plus 110. Nurmagomedov out. So in is Gianni Vazquez. And yeah, like Big Marley mentioned, we will have Slate plan. We'll have all of my breakdown, Big Marley's fight rankings. He'll have his breakdown, projections, ownership. We don't even have a line out for that fight yet, so we will skip that fight when we do go and talk about it. We got YSN in here, Sites, Mateus, Mike Spencer. Appreciate everyone hanging out live or on playback. All we ask is the like button and the subscribe button. Helps us out a ton. And if you do want to join us at the Nation, all you got to type in is shippingnation.com. Join the Nation in the bottom left. And you can get a daily pass if you want to do that on Saturday. We'll have our football content up for the Super Bowl. Then it's $9. Get you Saber Sim, all of our content in all sports. No Discord, though. But if you sign up now, I think probably the best deal, 5 days for $19. You do get Super Bowl content, NBA content, PGA Showdown content for the waste management, MMA, of course, and NASCAR, or not NASCAR, excuse me, and NHL. NASCAR actually should be coming back pretty soon. Maybe it's next week. But yeah, a lot of sports going on. You can get it as low as $9 or 5 days for $19. Discord, Saber Sim, content for everything. Broad slate overview. I'm just looking at your fight rankings quick. Only 1 5 stars, couple 4 stars. I'm in agreement with you. I'm not sure how high scoring this card will be, but I'm also struggling with some underdogs. A lot of big favorites on this card. Again, I put these odds up on Tuesday. So we'll see the line movement. There has been a couple fights that have had a good amount of line movement too from Tuesday to Thursday. So I always like using this as a reference, and you can see where the money goes. Obviously, always follow the money, and I mean pretty much everything in life. So any initial thoughts for you before we go fight by fight?
No, I mean that main event's going to be the one I'm really focused on, and then I think you can make a case to use pretty much anybody else on this card, or make a case to fade anybody else on this card.
For sure. Are you gonna, if you had 150 teams, are you locking that Bautista Oliveira fight?
I wouldn't make a rule, but I would hope that I end up with that like 146 or something at least.
Yeah, no, I mean,
the winner scores 100.
I agree. I don't think I'm gonna make a rule, but almost all of my lineups I'm planning on having that fight. But like last week, the Volk fight, it busted. We did talk about that a little bit. So when that does bust, you have a lot better chance at a solo shipper. There was one last week, 200,000 big ones. So yeah, we'll hopefully have some members, some Shipping Nation logos at the top of the leaderboards for this week's. Prizes are still good. 5 p.m. Eastern again at the Apex. No time to waste. We're going bottom to top like always. Klaudia Sygula, minus 150. Priscila Cachoeira, plus 130. Minus 135 for this fight to finish. Cachoeira, the underdog, plus 185 inside the distance. Sygula, plus 250. So actually, when I wrote this fight up earlier today, and Cachoeira was plus 140 inside the distance, now plus 185. Sygula was plus 350 inside the distance, now plus 250. So just hours ago, again, I wrote this up. The fight to finish hasn't changed at minus 135, but the favorite Sygula has taken some money, her inside the distance prop. Cachoeira's went the other way. Curious to hear your take on this one. I'm definitely going to play it. I like it. I think ownership. I'll throw it to you first, and I'll talk about mine. Sygula, Cachoeira, what we got?
Yeah, I mean, this is like the fight that I love to play, and I also hate to play because it's the first fight of the night. And if you pick a side on it, it's usually me that screwed the first fight of the night. But this is one I would want to take sides on both. With just MME, I would want to be overweight to both because I don't think either one's going to get too much ownership, and they both have 100-point potential. Cachoeira is going to be she's going to be marching forward trying to knock out Sygula. That's her game plan in every single fight. She'll eat shots to give hers. And then Sygula is the more technical striker. She's not going to have much power behind her shots. But I think she's the more likely wrestler here. And I think if she gets into top control, she will be active with her strikes there. And either one of these ladies could get a finish. I'm not going to rely on it. So I picked it to go to a decision. But even in a decision, I think Sygula could score well here against Cachoeira, especially if she's landing takedowns along the way. I put it as a 3 and a 3 because I prefer Sygula, but that $1,000 could go a long way in a fight that I'm not confident in at all. And plus 125 for a $7,600 fighter who can get 90-plus points in a win. I mean, that's pretty solid. So I'm absolutely fine moving down from Sygula to Cachoeira if that's what I need to do. But my pick is Sygula to get 2 or 3 rounds on the scorecards.
I am worried Cachoeira does get pretty up there in terms of ownership in the lower tier. I mean, plus 130 for 7,600 and plus 185 inside the distance is very good on a card that's difficult to find underdogs. So I'm still going to play her. I mean, again, 7,600 plus 185 plus 1 for everything I just said. I'm playing her because I think she's a good play, but I do think the field will play quite a bit of her. And like you said, Cachoeira fights are fun. She just walks forward, blocks punches with her face, and throws bombs. So she easily can get a first round, second round knockout whenever. If she does, it'll score well. But I have a lot of interest in Sygula in chalkier lineups, which, again, if you're playing the main event, if we got, again, no line on this Basharat fight, but if Basharat's minus 400 and you plug in Basharat, and then you go play an Almeida Kuniev in the mid-tier that's going to be popular, then you got to look somewhere to get different. Sygula is definitely someone I'm going to play. Again, Cachoeira fights usually fun. I think Cachoeira forces Sygula to do something. She's not known to be a wrestler, but man, if there's ever a fight to wrestle and mix in takedowns, this is the fight. Cachoeira, not great takedown defense, not great off her back. And Sygula can win a striking match as well. Lands a little more volume. Cachoeira very hittable. I do like to see plus 300 out and plus 250 inside the distance. And again, if Cachoeira does get ownership like I think she does, you get some leverage that way too. So first fight of the night, I mean, sign me up. I play a lot of teams, so I don't really worry. First fight, second night, or fight, they're all independent to each other. It means nothing in terms of DFS. It's more of an emotional thing for people. You play one lineup, you pick wrong, you're drawing dead all card. I'll embrace that for sure. Again, I play a lot of lineups though, but I think this is a great fight to target to kick off the card, and I will definitely be playing both sides.
And it's also great. I mean, when you do take a side and you're right that first fight, the rest of the card is just that much better.
For sure. Absolutely. You're locked in even more so looking at, all right, when's my next fighter going to be fighting? For sure. Always a great feeling. Let's go to the next fight, a mid-tier fight. Muin Gafurov, minus 140. Jakub Wiklacz, plus 120. Minus 150 for this fight to finish. Wiklacz, plus 180 inside the distance. Gafurov, plus 220. Another fight I like. So on Tuesday when I put up the odds, it was plus 100 to finish. Now it's minus 150. A lot of money coming in on the under. Wiklacz, the underdog, opened plus 230 inside the distance. Now plus 180. Gafurov opened plus 300 inside the distance. Now plus 220. And I think this fight probably comes in under-owned because I think people will go to the Almeida Kuniev fight more. Rightfully so, depending on where the ownership is. And then the Basharat fight with like what this does, assuming he's a minus 300 or greater favorite, the price doesn't move. It's already came out on FanDuel and DraftKings. It's not going to move. So he'll be very popular just for his money line alone. But man, like if that fight's favored, like this Vazquez dude doesn't look bad. Again, we're not going to talk about that fight as much. I need to look into it a little more. But if he's going to be really popular, all that does is make the Gafurov Wiklacz fight even less owned. I really like the fight. I've grown to like the mid-tier quite a bit on this card, and I wouldn't be shocked if this fight outscores Almeida Kuniev at the end of the day. Just say Almeida, when we talk about that, controls round 1, Kuniev knocks him out in 2, he scores 80. So sign me up for this fight. Give me both sides. I'm picking Gafurov, but yeah, I'd love to get overweight on both guys. How do you see it?
I don't like it as much as you, but I am cool with it. Which do you like more, this fight or the one we just talked about?
This fight.
Yeah, interesting. I think I like the one we just talked about more, but it's also because I don't have a strong feeling either way on this fight. It was one of those where give me the plus money, whoever that guy is.
I will say these are two of my favorite fights on the card at ownership, because I think they're going to be relatively low owned, and I'm going to be eating chalk at spots. So yeah, it's two of my favorites to kick off the card, which sounds weird.
Yeah, and I am cool with this fight. I don't have a lean either way. I think Wiklacz is the more dangerous grappler, the higher paced striker. Gafurov's the better wrestler, stronger wrestler, the more powerful striker, probably the better overall striker, but he's just low volume. And he's low volume, and he also draws his opponent into being lower volume than normal too. So it's almost the Gafurov side that I don't care too much for, but Wiklacz is usually pretty aggressive right out of the gates. He'll go for takedowns often as well, but he did only score 69 points in his debut win.
I thought he
definitely
lost.
Not looking for 69, but I could also see this fight just being so 50-50 that it does go the distance. We don't even know who's about to win, and if that's the case, is there going to be a strong score? I don't know, man. So I'm just fine with either side of this one. My preferred play is going to be Wiklacz, though. I'd rather save that $200. However, if Gafurov was the 8K fighter, I would have been saying he's my preferred play here. So really zero lean at all for me in this fight. I have no idea what to think, and I do think it's going to be a close fight, and it's going to be back and forth. We're going to see takedowns, reversals. The striking is going to be close as well. So big, wide range of margins in this fight.
I do want to mention, so the Wiklacz, I don't have any significant strikes per minute or takedowns, and the Donchenko fight, this is their second UFC fight for both. Lately, like when it's just one UFC fight and it feels like an anomaly, like the Donchenko numbers are crazy. The Wiklacz fight, I mean, Patchy wrestled him. I mean, yeah, he was a big underdog against Patchy Mix. I don't even know if Patchy Mix might just be buns at the end of the day. I thought Patchy won the fight. He had more takedowns. He controlled them. Regardless, though, I didn't think the numbers told the true story, which is why I didn't put it there. But yeah, Gafurov can be boring. I think people will game log watch and see that. But I think Wiklacz is going to bring the pressure and force Gafurov to fight. So yeah, for like two of my favorite fights at ownership and ones that I'll be playing both sides of. There is some better fights that I like straight up, but I think the field will catch on to it more. Whereas these two, I think maybe the field might be lacking a little bit. But yeah, I love to see Tuesday plus 100 for the fight to finish, now to minus 150. That's a lot of money on the under right there. In the mid-tier, allows you to leave money pretty easily as well. So I like it. What's up, Tyler? Great to see you. I hope you're having a great night. Keep it rolling. Next fight on the card. Big favorite, Wang Cong, minus 350, taking on Eduarda Moura, plus 285, minus 105 for this fight to finish. Wang, plus 150 inside the distance. Moura, plus 500. Another one that inside the distance, Wang opened plus 245 inside the distance, now plus 150. Moura opened plus 335 inside the distance, now plus 500. This fight in general to finish, open plus 125, now minus 105. I'm going to play a little Wang to get a different. Again, when I'm playing the main event, when I'm playing Almeida, if I'm eating a lot of chalk, I am fine playing some Wang and getting different. Like more people will play Olajaychuk and leave the 100 for sure. Donchenko, I don't love the idea of going Donchenko to Wang and leaving 400, but in the flagship, if it goes from 45 dupes to 2 dupes, yeah, then I'm in for it. And maybe that is the case. So yeah, I'm going to play some Wang. Good striker, a lot of volume. Plus 150 to finish is good. And I think I'm going to play some Moura too, just because if she wins, I think it's through wrestling and on the mat. And yeah, any win at 7K I'll take, especially if I know it's going to be on the mat. So yeah, I guess not going to say it's one of my favorites, but I think this fight's going to be very low owned relative to a lot of the other ones, and I can make a case for both. So, yeah, as we go up the card, you're going to see more fights I don't like at ownership and stuff. I'm going to be playing these three, but I will say it's my least favorite of the three we talked about. Take it away. What do you see?
Yeah, I mean, I might move this one to a 3-star as well because I am cool playing either side of this one. I think it's a striker versus grappler matchup where Wang is just going to have too big of an edge on the feet for Moura, where I don't see Moura having any real chance in a striking match in this one. And then I also think Moura could wrestle her way to a victory. And if she does win, she's going to outscore that 7K price tag, and she could put up a pretty big number too. So I like the fact that we could get the big number from Moura, and we could get a knockout from Wang or just a bunch of strikes and a win from her. But my worry here is Moura wins the first round with wrestling, and then Wang wins the second and third or finishes in the third, and we don't get a big score at 9,200. That's how my prediction is. I think the best way to bet this fight would be to wait till after round one and then take Wang. And I just think the takedowns will be harder to come by. For Moura, she'll start to slow down. Wang will start to pick up the pace, and she'll just start to triple up more on the feet. And those strikes could add up and put her away. But if she's dropping the first round, I think that 9,200 is just too tough of a price for me to want to get overweight to. Anyways, I'm okay matching the field on her, but I don't want to get too much overweight at that price tag because I do think Moura could look pretty good, especially early in this fight.
Yeah, that all makes sense. I mean, but I think that's why Wang might be like 15%. Olajaychik might be like 44%. Like you're getting a lot of leverage. Just ways to get different when you're playing Wang, and I don't think many are going to click Moura either. So at ownership, this is definitely a fight I am willing to embrace. Striker versus grappler, the undertaking money. Yeah, I'm in on this fight, and it's not going to take too much to get overweight, which is what I like. Again, we're going to skip the Basharat Vazquez fight. Big Marley and I still got to look into it a little more. We have no odds on the fight. Like, we don't even know what Vazquez is going to be priced. If it's minus 130 plus 110, Vazquez is going to be 7,900. I don't think that's the case. I think more than likely it'll be like a minus 350 or something. Again, I have no clue. This Vazquez guy doesn't look too bad. But if that's the case, maybe he's like 6,800 or something. So a lot of moving pieces. We will have everything up in the slate plan, the fight rankings. And again, you can get that. Just type in chipination.com, join the nation, daily passes, 5-day passes, monthly, you name it. We have the option over here. And we'd love to have you at the nation. Mid-tier fight. I mean, I already talked about these fights I like. I am not going to make a case for this one. Ketlen Souza, minus 148. Bruna Brasil, plus 128. It's minus 325 to go the distance, plus 250 for it to finish. Souza, plus 325 inside the distance. Brazil, plus 675. You can't play every fight, and I've already talked about some I like. So mid-tier, in my opinion, is now strong. I like the Almeida Kunyev. I like Gafurov, Wiklacz, and Javid's probably going to be a solid play too. So, yeah, exit out. If I had a preferred side, I'm going Souza because she's double the likelihood of finishing the fight than Brazil. And on 13-fight card, I think we need some bit of upside. But, I mean, you can make the case that you like Brazil more because she's 600 cheaper. Regardless, I don't want much of this fight.
Yeah, I'm just not going to play this fight. My pick is actually for Brazil to win. I just think she's the better at range kickboxer here. And if she's not at range, she needs to get all the way in and land takedowns. And I think she could grind out minutes with some takedowns in this fight too. Souza's going to be the one marching forward, throwing big-time shots and trying to knock out Brazil. But I just don't rely on 115-pound women to get knockouts. I'm not going to play this fight, period. Brazil, even in her ceiling, is probably just barely paying off a 10x this 7,800. So I'm not interested in that. I'll look for other underdogs. I mean, if I have 150, maybe I'll get a little bit of Brazil, but I highly doubt I end up with 150 on this card. So I'll be limiting the underdogs that I play, and I'm just going to X this fight out to make the rest of the card easier on me.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, if you're playing 150, I've looked at a lot of sharp people and what they do. They almost never X anyone out. I've definitely been too aggressive in the past, so I wouldn't X out any fight on this card. That's for sure if I'm playing 150, but I would make sure I don't have much of this at all. If I play 150, it's in $3. Lately, I've been doing like 70 there. some in the flagship and stuff. But yeah, I won't have any of this fights if I'm only making a handful of teams. Next fight on the card. This fight was actually announced on Monday. Nikolay Veretennikov taking on Niko Price. Veretennikov minus 300. Niko Price plus 250. This fight is minus 250 to finish. Nikolay minus 140 inside the distance. Or excuse me, yeah, minus 140 inside the distance. Price plus 400. Nikolay in round 1 plus 140. Niko Price. Both guys are 36 years old. Niko Price is more like 46 years old in fight years for me. The dude has just been in a lot of wars. He has like 1 million kids, but he'll show up. He'll fight for your dollar. He has been knocked out in 5 of his 9 losses, though. So I definitely want some Nikolay at 8,900. Like I would rather straight up Nikolay over Wang, but I do think he'll be a lot higher owned. I am fine dropping Michelle O to Nikolay and not and just leaving the 200 or whatever it is. But I'm also going to play some Niko Price because if he wins at 7,300, it's probably a high-paced fight. He's probably landing some volume. And the easiest path to victory in him for this one is wrestling. If you look at Nikolay's past couple fights, let me pull it up to get it right. He's been taken down in almost every single one. Granted, they are against better wrestlers, but four times Soriano took him down last fight. Punahele, 12.5 minutes of control time. 3 times the fight prior, 7 minutes of control time. 2 the fight prior, 7.5 minutes of control time. I'm not sure Niko has the gas tank on short notice, and he's not as willing of a wrestler as who he's fought. But, I mean, the path is there. Yeah, I'll let you talk about it. You got Niko winning. Or Niko as your preferred play. Niko on the betting odds, I'd rather put 2 plus 250 than lay minus 300. But gun to my head, I think Nikolay knocks him out because – yeah, I'm a little worried about Niko Price. So take it away. But another good fight.
I don't know that it's a good fight.
Minus 250 to finish. It could be a good DFS. I think it's going to be a good
DFS fight. Yeah. But I'm not looking forward to this fight just in general as a fan. I don't know why they even put it together. It's just so they can cut the loser. And I didn't even know about this fight when I was doing my research on Sunday. So I'm doing this podcast last night.
It wasn't on Sunday. It wasn't on Sunday. Niko took this fight on Monday. Nikolay was supposed to fight the Souza guy, and it got canceled, and Niko took it Monday. So, yeah, it wasn't even on the card on Sunday.
Yeah, so I was like on the podcast, like trying to figure this shit out in my head last night. And I'm like, what? Wait, why is this guy minus 300 anyways? I mean, this guy's not very good. I think that Veretennikov is the more technical striker. He's the more dangerous striker. He doesn't look as washed because he never looked good in the UFC, but this price is just I think it says that everyone's just looking to bet against Niko because they think he's completely washed. And I could never lay minus 325 on Veretennikov. I don't know where he is clearly that much better than Niko. I think even in a striking match, Niko could win that just based on volume alone, but it would be smart of Niko to come in here and look for some takedowns. And if he can do that, I think he could win a unanimous decision as a plus 275 underdog or whatever he is. So Niko's my pick to win. He's my preferred play. I will be underweight to Veretennikov. And if I was making like just a couple lineups, 3 to 5 lineups on this card, I'm not playing Veretennikov at all. I would look to get so those other people that you said you would be fine going down. I'd prefer Wang. I'd prefer whoever. Oh yeah, Jacek, of course. Everybody will look for him.
What about Horiguchi?
I mean, I prefer Horiguchi because I feel good about Horiguchi winning. I don't feel good about him scoring.
I mean, man, that's a strong take for a minus 140 guy to finish the fight and plus 120 in round 1.
Yeah,
I'm down. Or plus 140.
I mean, I could be wrong. If he could go out there and blow him away, but I just have never been impressed with this guy, especially in the UFC.
I agree. I mean, the dude's 1-3 in the UFC, lost on Contender Series. Like the line feels really wide. That's why I'd prefer to bet Niko as well. 13-7 as a pro. But if there's a matchup, like he throws bombs and Niko Price has been knocked out 5 and 9 times, I'm worried about the chin. I mean, Robbie Lawler just nicked the guy and he went down. So I like this fight though. I'm definitely going to play it.
First, if he doesn't get a first round knockout, he can't. I don't even think he can 10x his price tag.
Second round? You don't think if it's a war on the feet?
I just don't think he's going to be active. I mean, I guess maybe second round, but I just don't think he's active enough.
I think Niko might make him active enough. Like Niko tends to push the face or push the pace and like he
Short
pumps
notice,
the jab. Yeah, no, it is short notice, which you might like Nikolay even more for that if Price gasses. Who knows? Because Nikolay was supposed to. It's relatively short notice for him, but he was supposed to fight Souza on this card, so he did have a fight prior, whereas Price didn't. But I think I probably prefer Price too. We need underdogs. We play a salary-based game, and he's 1,600 cheaper. So, but I like Nikolay more than you do for the props, and I think he has some upside. Let's go to the biggest favorite on the card, and everything looks good here. Daniil Danchenko minus 700, Alex Morono plus 525, minus 400 for this fight to finish. Danchenko minus 260 inside the distance, Morono plus 550, and then Danchenko in round 1 plus 150. So who we just talked about, Nikolay, is more likely to win in round 1 according to Bet Online than Danchenko.
That's wild.
Interesting. Yeah, take it away.
Yeah, well, I think that Morono is more gassed than Niko Price. More washed than Niko Price. And he's never been really a good fighter. He's a solid fighter, but he's not dangerous on the feet. He can point fight his way to a decision win, or he can grab your neck and submit you, but he's not looking to wrestle that much either. So I think he's big time on the decline, and he doesn't have that far to fall from, in my opinion. So I think Danchenko's not going to be worried about the power from Morono. I think the biggest worry here would be getting his neck taken while he's standing, like a standing guillotine here. But Danchenko will accept the punches from Morono, and he's going to be aggressive. He's going to be pushing forward. He's going to be throwing big shots at Morono, and he's nasty, man. This guy's dangerous. I think he's going to hurt Morono early. Give me first-round knockout for Danchenko. I'd pay that extra $700 all day over Veretennikov if I can afford it. So that's where I'm trying to get to. He's my favorite pay up for sure on this slate. But $9,600, if it's second round, is it going to be enough? Man, I don't know. I'd rather it be a first round knockout if I'm paying $9,600.
I think you will be right about 35%. I do think Michelle Olajaychuk, due to the 500 savings, big favorite, good props, will be higher owned. But after that, I think it's probably him as the highest owned in the upper tier with the props. Like, I'd be more confident if people felt better with the dogs or there was more obvious dogs. But with the mid tier being strong, especially if Javid, if he's like minus 400, maybe Danchenko's even like 40%. If he was minus 120, then it's probably closer to 35 or lower. And the reason I say that is most Danchenko teams will go right to Javid and plug him in right away. But right now, I think he's going to be about 35%. And yeah, Morono's as washed as he gets. No chance. I'm playing Alex Morono. Next fight on the card. Really curious to hear your take on this one. Dustin Jacoby taking on Julius Walker. Minus 170 Jacoby. Plus 145 is Walker. Minus 155 for this fight to finish. Jacoby plus 125 inside the distance. Walker plus 325. What's Jacoby round 1? Plus 300. A little better than I thought. Open plus, 385. Now plus 300. We know Jacoby's a kickboxer. How much do you think Julius Walker wrestles or tries to in this fight, and how much success do you think he has?
I definitely think he's going to try to wrestle. I think he'll maybe get a takedown or two, but I just don't see there being too much success. Even with those takedowns, I think Jacoby's going to work his way back to his feet. And on the feet, Walker's only chances to knock him out. Jacoby's, even 11 years older than this guy, Jacoby's going to be levels above him. And I don't think Walker can hang really at all. So it could be Jacoby picking him apart and then knocking him out. But I think if the wrestling is successful at all, then I like Jacoby to win a decision here. Maybe he drops the first round, and then I like him to win the second and the third. But if that's the case, I'm not trying to pay $8,700 for Jacoby. I would want him to either win all 3 rounds and put up some good volume or get a knockout. I don't expect ownership to be too bad, so I am cool getting some Jacoby exposure. More so because of the podcast last night, man. They sold me more on Jacoby. I was kind of indifferent on this fight where I was okay, maybe getting some Walker exposure because a knockout's cool, wrestling is cool, but they just don't think that that's going to be the case for him. And I'm also sold on Walker not being very good. But when is Jacoby going to fall off more? That's more so my question at 37 years old. So they talked me down on the Walker and up on Jacoby, and that's kind of how I'm thinking my lineups will end up this week.
Yeah, I really have nothing to argue. So interesting. This fight opened minus 135 Jacoby, plus 115 Walker. Shortly after Walker, let's see, that day, Walker got all the way to plus 175 February 1st. And then slowly he's taken some money now, plus 145. I agree. I think Jacoby wins. I don't think Walker is very good. I know Not Really is saying the same thing. Shut up, Bring the Noise. Good to see you in here. But the reason I'm going to play Walker is, I don't like underdogs. And just props, everything, money line, plus 145 for 7,500, solid. Minus 155 for the fight to finish, good. Plus 325 inside the distance, solid. Should wrestle if he does win. Easiest path is wrestling, good. So everything just checks the boxes when you watch the tape and all that. I agree. Walker is kind of a tough click, but then you bring it back and he's 7,500 and you compare around the range. This is why I do think Cachoeira is going to get pretty popular because many will go there. If you go Cachoeira down to Julius Walker and leave 100 plus or whatever it is, I think that is one way you can get a little different. I will be playing Jacoby too, though. Like, I think he stuffs takedowns. He's the much better kickboxer. And yeah, I think he catches them with the right hand. Leg kicks are solid. The problem is, I'm worried, is over 2.5 is plus 105. If this fight gets to round 3, it's going to be hard for Jacoby to get there at 8,700. So I'm a little hesitant. I prefer Nikolay. I prefer Wang. I prefer Michelle Olejniczak. I prefer Mario Bautista. I prefer Donchenko. But I do like him more than Fareed. I do like him more than Horiguchi. So, yeah, I'm going to play some Jacoby, but I'm nervous. Third round knockout might not be enough. And, yeah, he's plus 300 round 1. Maybe I want to be somewhere around there. So, I might have more Walker than Jacoby when it's all said and done. And that's just due to I need underdogs on this card at the end of the day. And the props look pretty solid for him with an 11-year age difference, which usually does favor the younger fighters. But I agree. I'm not really sure Walker. I'm not convinced he's any good. Props just going to lead me to play some as we play a salary-based game. We'll keep it rolling. Yeah, appreciate it. We talk about all the fights as much as we need to, we think, but we're not going to sit here and waste your time. Time's valuable in life. You can always, if you do watch it on playback, what I do on a lot of my podcasts and stuff I listen to, change the normal to like 1.5x. I know sometimes I might talk a little fast, but hey, saves you even more time in life. Can crank that out on the way to work, on the way to the gym, whatever you have it, or whenever fits your schedule. 5 fights left. The other Basharat brother, Fareed Basharat, taking on Gene Matsumoto, minus 270 Basharat, plus 230 Matsumoto, plus 250 for this fight to finish. Basharat plus 300 inside the distance, Matsumoto plus 850. Yeah, I kind of tipped my hand. Basharat he's such a good fighter. He's 14-0, but he just doesn't do it for DFS if it goes to decision. His decision wins in the UFC so far, let me get it right for sure. 81, 86, 88, and 65. In those wins, he's had 3 takedowns, 5 takedowns, 4 takedowns, and 2 takedowns. So even when he does have success wrestling, he hasn't scored more than 90 in a decision. This fight's minus 300 to go the distance. Gene Matsumoto's 17-1. I don't know. If Basharat does it, he does it. I'm not going to play much. I'm struggling with what to do with Matsumoto. Like, he's a good fighter, and I like playing good fighters at 7,200. But Basharat's also a good fighter, and he limits opponents' upside in scoring. So I don't love it by any means. He falls down the list, but I mean, if no dogs win on this card, or very few, and he wins and he scores 68, it could be enough. So I think he's my preferred play, but I don't love it.
Yeah, this is like the opposite of that Niko Price fight, where I'm not excited for this fight in DFS, but I'm looking forward to it in real life. Both of these guys are good fighters. Basharat is just the full package. He's good everywhere. Where Matsumoto is a dangerous grappler, he's probably going to have to grab a neck of Basharat. And he's also a good boxer. So if he could just keep it in boxing range, I think he could win the striking. But Basharat is really good at keeping the length, and he's the more well-decorated striker. He's going to be throwing a lot more leg kicks. He's not a high volume striker, but he's not as low volume as his brother is. And he's a good wrestler. He can land multiple takedowns in every round of the fight, and he can go hard for three full rounds. So I definitely like Basharat in pretty much every fight that he's in. I'm picking him to win here, but I do think he scores 80 points, something like that. And at 9K, 80 points isn't going to cut it. So I got this as a 2-star for that reason. I'm not going to get to too much Matsumoto either because I'm so high on Basharat.
Yeah, we see that fight identical. Like to see that. Next fight on the card. I'm excited for this one. Real life, DFS, you name it, sign me up. Michelle Olajaychuk, -500. Marc-Andre Barriault, +375. -450 for this fight to finish. Michelle Olajaychuk, -250 inside the distance. Barriault, +465. Olajaychuk, round 1, +100. I mean, I think it's really simple why you want to play Michelle Olajaychuk. -400 for fight to finish on Tuesday, now -450. -360 moneyline Olajaychuk, now -500. It all looks good. Best round 1 prop on the slate. Ownership, though, he might be 45%. He might be like 50. He's going to probably be one of the highest owned on the slate. So that naturally gives me interest in the Marc-Andre Barriault side. He'll fight for your dollar. I am worried the chin might just be going at this point at 35 and been cracked. But, man, if he wins, half the field, close to it, is dead with Olajaychuk. You assume he's got to score pretty well. Yeah, so give me both sides. Barriault for the leverage. Doesn't take much to get overweight. He'll be very low owned. And, yeah, Olajaychuk looks like good chalk to me. How do you see it?
Yeah, I'll be under on Olajaychuk here, but he is a good play because +100 first round. 50% chance he scores over 90 points, more likely 100+ points. So that's absolutely solid, but the ownership will be there on him, and I'm just really not willing to get leverage on that ownership. If this gets out of the first round, I'm not even sure he's going to win the fight, but I know he's not going to score well. And if it gets out of the first round, I'm going to start liking Barriault's chances to win the fight a lot more. He could land a takedown or two along the way. He could put up volume, and I think that a decision in this fight is going to end up pretty close. So give me the underdog to pull off the split decision. I don't think he's going to put up a big score, but at 7,100, I think he could put up more than 10x. Marc-Andre Barriault is going to be my leverage play in this one. I'm going to at least double the field on Barriault.
Yeah, no, I like your confidence in it. I'm going to have a lot of Olajaychuk. I know that. I mean, +100, 50% in round 1, or maybe it's like 47. I mean, because they put the juice usually. If they think it's 50%, they'll put -110. But still, I'll probably have about 50% Olajaychuk. And if you get 15% Barriault, that very well might be overweight on the slate. 20% definitely will be. And yeah, if Olajaychuk loses, about half the field's going down. So sign me up for this fight. Are you going to look to live bet? You think if Olajaychuk, if it gets out of round 1, you give Barriault the advantage?
Well, I don't know that I would want to live bet. I think I'd have a better chance. I think I'd get a better number right now than I would after round 1. So no, I don't think I would be looking to live bet it unless Olajaychuk is really throwing some big time punches, and I think he might slow down. But I think the line's off right now. I might bet it pre-fight.
Yeah, I mean it keeps moving. So maybe this is where you buy the dip and it changes. Sorry, sore subject for all the crypto guys out there, including myself. Not good in the streets right now, but yeah, definitely a lot of money has been going on to the Olajaychuk side. $1 and some change since Tuesday. 3 fights left. Really, really curious to hear your take on this one. I mean, this is the Finney Malkoun fight of last week where it's really, really close and it's very polar and people have a lot of different takes on it. Gelton Almeida -160. Rizvan Kuniev +140. -250 for this fight to finish. Almeida +105 inside the distance. Kuniev +240. So looking at this fight, open -220 to finish, now -250. Almeida opened -550 favorite in this one. And then 25 minutes later, or an hour later, was -155. Got as low as -133 on Monday. And now he got some buyback and is now -160. Floor is yours, man. I'm all ears. I know I'm playing it in DFS, but I'm really curious how you think it goes.
Yeah, I don't feel confident either way. I almost made this a 5-star though, because I think it's one we kind of have to prioritize. It is right there in the mid-range, and it could be completely one-sided either way in this one. Almeida, complete physical freak, can wrestle with the best of them, but that's what he's going to have to do. He's going to have to go in there, wrestle early and often. When he lands takedowns, he's going to have to keep top control, and he just doesn't do enough in that top control, but he can keep 13 minutes of control time, and that starts to add up along with, 6 takedowns or whatever he gets in the fight. He's also alive to get a submission here. He just doesn't want to strike with anybody, so Kuniev's going to have a clear striking edge, and if Almeida can't get takedowns, it could be a one-way road for Kuniev here. Kuniev also a Dagestani wrestler, so what happens if he gets a takedown on Almeida? I think Almeida could be in a lot of trouble off of his back, but I don't feel confident in this one. I just think Almeida is going to be too big, too strong. He's going to have a lot of early success with the wrestling. So give me Almeida to win the first 2 rounds, hopefully not get finished in the third. But ideally, if I'm overweight on Almeida, hopefully he wins that third round too. And if he does, I expect over 100 points from him. I want to be really heavy on this fight, but I do think it could be like Almeida wins the first half, Kuniev wins the second half, and then we don't get a score from either one of them. So I'm not going to be all in for that reason. I would guess I have this in 3/4 of my lineup, though.
Yeah, I'm definitely playing it, but by no means would I lock this fight. Just because Almeida's like willingness to do nothing when he's on top and just be like the Volkov fight, like he shouldn't have lost it, but the UFC is almost trying to send him a message. You can't land 9 significant strikes in a 15-minute fight. And like, if this fight does get to the third round, and props agree with me, like I think Almeida's just gassed at that point. And Kuniev, he was impressive against Blades. Like Blades is a really good wrestler, as we know. Kuniev in round 3 plus 850 to finish, Almeida plus 1200. Round 1, it's Almeida plus 215, Kuniev plus 725, and then round 2, the gap closes plus 550 Gelatin, plus 750 Kuniev. The longer this fight goes, the more it favors Kuniev, in my opinion. Like, if Kuniev tries to wrestle in round 1, he's just a donkey. Gelatin's going to reverse him. He's going to get on top. He's going to do something. But if he shoots for a takedown in round 3 or something, like, I think he can easily get it. And if he's on top, Gelatin just doesn't really have the cardio there. So I think Gelatin's going to shoot a double leg takedown 10 seconds into the fight or less, probably get it. But if he doesn't get it, it's going to be a little scary. And if I'm Kuniev's corner, I'm telling him right away, like, get ready for that knee up the middle, because he always just shoots just explodes across the cage, double leg, and get into it because he cannot strike. But man, his back takes, his jiu-jitsu, it's pretty nice. So I truly don't know if he can get the first round finish, great. But I am nervous the longer the fight goes. I don't have a strong take. Like last week, I did on the Malkoun Kuniev Finney. I really have no strong take. I'm going to let ownership kind of dictate. I guess whoever's lower owned, if there is a significant difference, is my preferred play. But I'm not really sure there's going to be a significant difference. If I do think this fight's going to be a decent bit higher owned, though, than that Gafurov Wiklacz fight. And I am fine playing no Almeida and playing Gafurov, or no Almeida and Wiklacz. Like, I'm going to have some fight fades in this one.
What was FanDuel doing pricing Kuniev higher than Almeida?
Oh, I know. Well, I mean, what are they? First of all, like usually they have usually 15's what the favorite is at the lowest, like a pick'em fight. So these guys, they have them priced like the equivalent to DraftKings is Kuniev is 7,900 and Almeida is like 7,700. So it's a lot harder to get away on FanDuel. But that being said, FanDuel doesn't reward control time.
And they give points for like stuff takedowns, I guess. So they're almost pricing that in for them. Maybe.
No stuff takedowns, submission attempts. You get submission attempts, but you do not get top control. So
I haven't played FanDuel in years.
Yeah, I'm in the FanDuel streets, and for the head-to-heads, you can find me if you want. Tournaments, you win a couple chocolate bars if you take. It's a little better than that, but not relative to DraftKings. But yeah, that is a good shout. Both guys are mispriced on FanDuel. With that being said, though, Almeida's scoring or his style is a lot worse on FanDuel than it is DraftKings. Good shout, though. Good notice. All right, 2 fights left. Co-main event time. I mean, Horiguchi comes back to the UFC and makes a statement against Sygula and now finds himself as a minus 353 favorite, taking on Amir Albazi, coming off a 1.5-year layoff, plus 288, plus 160 for this fight to finish. Horiguchi plus 200, Albazi plus 700. I'm not going to play much of this fight. I agree with your 2-star. I agree Horiguchi is my preferred play. Albazi is a wrestler. Horiguchi, man, his takedown defense, his distance management looked elite last fight against Tagir. Not sure Albazi will have much success. And if he does, I think Horiguchi probably gets up. The problem with Horiguchi is he's the second highest price on the card in a fight, favored to go the distance at minus 200. So, yeah, I don't see myself playing too much of this one. What about you?
Yeah, I just think Horiguchi is going to be better than him, a lot faster than him everywhere. And Albazi probably stronger, maybe could have an early wrestling edge with his strength as well. But I don't think he's going to have that much success with his wrestling in this fight. And I think Horiguchi is going to be higher volume, just a better overall striker. He can land takedowns of his own. He's more dangerous everywhere. But $9,300 is a high price to pay for Horiguchi, especially if he is going to get taken down throughout this fight and not be scoring. I would want him to dominate all 3 rounds for $9,300. And even if that was the case, we might not score enough. So I'm just not going to be too heavy on this fight. But for me, it's going to be Horiguchi or pass.
I like it. I see it the same. And it's the main event time. What a DFS fight. What a real-life fight. I'm super pumped for this one. Mario Bautista minus 148, Vinicius Oliveira plus 128, minus 165 for this fight to finish. Bautista plus 155 inside the distance, Oliveira plus 225. So as you can see, a lot of line movement on the Oliveira side. On Tuesday, Bautista was minus 185. Now he's minus 148. And I wrote this up on Tuesday that Oliveira I thought would be higher owned than Mario Bautista with these odds right here. And the reason I thought that is the lack of value on this card, more times than not, leads you to the main event underdog. Last week, Diego Lopez was 6% higher owned than Alexander Volkanovski. Now, and I thought the underdogs were a lot stronger last card than this card. Now with the line movement, I expect Oliveira, I mean, he might be 55% owned and Bautista might be like 37% owned. So the more I thought about it and the more this line movement has come, I think when it's all said and done, I don't know if I want to use the word over-owned is Oliveira, but I think he probably will be. And I think the sharp play is Mario Bautista. And I think the easiest path to victory for him is to wrestle. With that being said, I want to hear your just screw the DFS take. You can touch on that a little bit. Real life, gun to your head. Who's winning this fight? Because, man, this is a great one.
I'm going to take Bautista because of the 5 rounds. Maybe 3 rounds you favor Oliveira, but this is going to be a really fun fight. It's just I think it's going to be tough for a style like Oliveira's to go that hard for 25 full minutes. I think he's going to start to slow down as the fight moves along, maybe towards the end of the 3rd, and then that 4th round's going to be that much tougher. And then the 5th round, I expect Bautista to completely be there. I mean, unless he's eating big shots, he can start to gas himself because I do think Oliveira is the more dangerous fighter in this one. He's going to be the one that's aggressive in this fight, trying to hurt Bautista, and he could do that. He could also land a couple takedowns along the way, but Bautista is just the cleaner fighter all around. I think he's the more technical striker, the better overall grappler, more likely wrestler. And I do agree that he should look to wrestle. That would be where his biggest advantage in this fight would be, aside from that possible cardio advantage late in the fight. And I don't even know that that's a true thing. That's more so based on Oliveira's style. You just can't go balls to the walls for 25 minutes. It just doesn't work like that. Otherwise, everybody would do it. So give me Bautista to win 3 rounds to Oliveira's 2. But I expect this to be a high-paced fight for 25 minutes. Both guys could get takedowns. Both guys could get knockdowns. I'm looking forward to this one. I think this one is must-watch TV.
Oh, what a banger. I mean, everything Oliveira throws is hard. His leg kicks are nasty. Like, his knee against, I think it was Sopai. Was that who that was against?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just highlight reel. If you haven't seen that, go check that out. But he was taken down and controlled a little bit in that fight, which is a concern. But yeah, what he did to Ricky Simone's leg, I mean, the dude's nasty. He's definitely went on a run, and it's cool to see. He's taking money. But Bautista, he's a more well-rounded fighter, probably better cardio, has fought the better competition. But man, Oliveira's tough. This is one hell of a fight.
Yeah, and I've been talking about star power the last couple of weeks, the lack thereof of star power in the UFC. If Oliveira knocks out Bautista, he's got the star power where he could really be the guy that the UFC needs. So I feel like the UFC maybe would want him to win this fight too, but you would almost think that they would set that up for 3 rounds if they really want to lean his way.
I think they do want it.
He got it.
I think they do want it, but yeah, I think they also just like, all right, if he's got to be thrown to the wolves at some point in a 5-round fight, let's figure it out on a fight night card, and then they'll know in a pay-per-view card, like, yeah, this dude has, I think, the potential, the fighting style, the height to headline a pay-per-view card if he really is that guy when it's all said and done. So I'm pumped for this fight. On a card that's kind of lackluster in terms of like entertainment, maybe. Like, I hate to say, there's going to be some boring fights throughout. There's going to be some fun fights, but I don't see how this fight isn't fun when it's all said and done. As you can see, just the stone shows it. Both guys over 5 significant strikes per minute, 1.5 takedowns about for them both. Sign me up for this. We'll have close to 100%. But yeah, if Bautista like wrestles in round 1 or has some success and then Oliveira knocks him out in 2, oh fuck, he's 7,400. How does this fight not get there?
Bautista, second round submission.
Second round submission. Okay, yep. And even then at 8,800, I mean, it's not drawing dead to get there, but yeah, that's probably the most likely. Or a nut shot or eye poke like Cejudo, or random stuff happens. And Aljamain Sterling, Peter Yan was on pace to be the highest scoring fight of both times. And then that knee to the head, and you know what I mean? A no contest. Like, it's the UFC. There's variance on variance on variance, which is why some people hate it. Which is kind of why I love it. You got to embrace it. You can pick the right fight and get everything right, and the 3 morons sitting cage side see it differently, and then you lose that way. So it's a part of the game we play. But 5 p.m. Eastern at the Apex, 13 fights. Fingers crossed we keep all 13. We would love to have you at the Nation. Again, if you do want to join, shipitnation.com, you'll get to this screen. Let me back up a little bit. Join the Nation is what you click. Then you can see all of the options. Daily pass as low as $9 if you want all of our content. All of our UFC content will be up tomorrow. I think the best deal, 5 days, $419, because it'll get you our Super Bowl content, our PGA Showdown content for multiple days, MMA, of course, NHL, and NBA. If you know you'll be with us for the long term, monthly, annual options, and it only gets cheaper when you do annual versus monthly, etc. Big Marley, final thoughts before we get on out of here. I think we're off next week, I believe.
I think you're right. Yeah. Well, yeah, hopefully it's a good card. Hopefully we do keep those other fights. I'm going to go watch this Vazquez guy. I'll put my notes and all my stars in the fight rankings over at Ship It Nation. So go check those out if you're a member. If you're not, then become a member and go check it out. But good luck to you, Title. Good luck to everybody listening. Enjoy the Super Bowl. Good luck on that as well. Take it down again this year, Title. But yeah, let's enjoy this card, and let's hopefully have a sweat.
Hey, you won last week or 2 weeks ago. I won a little 2 weeks ago. Maybe we can both parlay that in to sitting at the top of the Super Bowl leaderboards after sitting up top at the MMA leaderboards. I appreciate it, Big Marley. Always good talking fights with you. Always appreciate everyone hanging out. YSN, Mateus, Bring the Noise, our man Tyler, Sights, Mike Spencer, you guys, the real ones, and many watching on playback. We appreciate you as well. Like, subscribe on the way out. We will see you in the Discord. For Big Marley, I'm Titletown. Be safe. Good luck this weekend. Peace.